The Orlando Magic upset the number 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks 122 to 110. Nikola Vucevic was absolutely unbelievably dominant in the way that he was able to take advantage of whatever the Bucks were trying to give him. He was able to hit threes, he posted up when he wanted to, and he did it from every single angle you can imagine. He'd pick and pop, hit a three, he would pick and pop, hit a mid-range jumper. He was able to basically eliminate some of what Brook Lopez does at the rim by forcing him to recover when he shouldn't have normally, and also post up against Marvin Williams when they would try to go a little bit smaller. In this breakdown, we're going to look at why he was so dominant and how the Bucks might try to counter that next game. My name is Coach Gibson Pyper. You can follow me on Twitter at HalfCourtHoops. If you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. In order to understand why Vucevic was so dominant, we need to look and understand how the Bucks drop ball screen coverage works. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I covered this already in the playoffs preview, but essentially Brook Lopez, whoever's defending the pick and roll, is going to drop. The guard is going to chase and trail over the top, forcing them into mid-range, and they're really going to focus on stopping the ball at the basket, and they'll allow open threes. They don't care if you're going to shoot open threes, but essentially it's not allowing anything at the rim. They're going to allow mid-range, and they will allow pick and pop threes. So in this example, we're going to look at the Magic starting their playoff in horns. They kind of exchange at the elbow before. They're going to see players at the elbow. Point guard's going to cut off. We're going to rotate the ball, get a handoff into a pick and roll for Fournier, who's going to come off. Lopez is going to be in drop ball screen coverage with Matthews chasing over the top. Vucevic picks and pops to the top of the key. Giannis flybys on the closeout. Vucevic goes into the mid-range and hits the jumper. That's a shot the Bucks are willing to give up. What they probably don't want to give up is this open pick and pop on the empty side. That's a problem. But also in transition, they're going to load to the ball more in the paint, and that leaves the trail man wide open. So a couple problems is on any drives, he's going to be wide open in space, and he ended up with 16 points on 8 pick and pops, which is just a staggering number when you think about it. 2 points per possession when he shot in pick and pop. Now, the reason for this is because of the way the Bucks defended. They did an okay job in the second half, but he only missed 1 shot in pick and pop opportunities. So the Bucks, with how great of a defense they are, was still out of sorts and didn't really find too much of a solution. As you can see, Bledsoe's too late to recover and find Vucevic on this pick and pop here. Now, Vucevic is an elite pick and pop big man. I did not realize how good he was till I dug into the stats. If we look at the pick and pop possession leaders via synergy, we see Vucevic at number 1 with 185 possessions, Aldridge at second with 180, Jokic at third with 142, and then the pair of Miles Turner and Sabonis from the Indiana Pacers both come in at 130 pick and pop possessions. Now these are possessions that end in a shot, make or miss, or a turnover in some sort. So these are the pick and pop possession leaders via synergy. So Vucevic is the most used player in pick and pop possessions right now in the NBA. The efficiency leaders, which means the most efficient in pick and pop situations, we have Kristaps Porzingis coming in at number 1 at 1.13 points per possession, Vucevic at 2. So he's high usage, but also incredibly efficient in pick and pop scenarios. Then we have Sabonis and Jokic at 1, Al Horford just under 1. So we're talking about a high volume, pick and pop efficient threat from outside against a drop ball screen coverage that's going to allow those pick and pop opportunities. Now, it wasn't only just Vucevic wreaking havoc in pick and pop. The Bucks were uncharacteristically bad. You can see Middleton get beat on an easy selling out of bounds. This was an after timeout special from the Mavericks. That is just the first option in their selling out of bounds. It's just coming off that first screen, looking for an easy layup. Something that happens in the regular season that teams will get beat on, but there's no excuse for that to happen in the playoffs. And Middleton was uncharacteristically bad. We can see here another example of the Bucks kind of defense struggling. Vucevic spacing here keeps Lopez just a little bit higher, and that allows an easy curl for a dunk from Ross. Another example here, as Lopez has to try and tag the cutter and then recover, it's just too easy. Now the Bucks tried to switch this action, especially late in the game. They had 12 possessions where they went to kind of switch almost everything. Out of those possessions, they had 6 misses, 4 makes that led to 10 points and 2 turnovers. So although it was effective, it ultimately wasn't the best solution because it did get burnt. And the reason for that is on these drives, Brook Lopez, when he switched, his first instinct is always to help. So when you drive, he's just going to be drive and kick and it's an open 3 all day. If you switch, he's going to bury the switch and finish it off in the post. Now let's talk about the Magic and their way they loaded to the ball in transition on Giannis. Loading to the ball just simply means that whenever Giannis has the ball, basically collapse inside the paint and make him see bodies. You want him to see bodies and have no driving lanes available and then force anybody else to beat you. Now Giannis is a very good playmaker. He's unselfish. He'll find the open shooter, especially in transition. But ultimately, if you're the Magic, that's a win. And for me, when I watch Giannis play, especially when he was small at the 5, you'd see him settle for too many threes. Now this is a great example of when he starts his drive, watch the Magic immediately collapse, have 2 or 3 guys zone up, Vucevic drops, and then ultimately Giannis settles for this 3. I don't like that shot, especially if they're playing him at the 5. He needs to be more aggressive with that. Again, loading up here, forcing their turnover. They just did such a great job against Giannis when he was driving. And one of the things I think he can be better at is, watch this tell. As soon as Giannis gets the ball, you can see he's eyes downhill looking to attack. As soon as he switches his head to the side and takes one side dribble, it's an automatic read for the defense that it's a handoff. So it's an easy tell for them to recognize when he's either going to attack or go downhill. So the Magic did a fantastic job loading up on him and also making anybody else beat them. And frankly, Middleton and Lopez just need to be a little bit better in the game. Am I concerned about the Bucks? No, not really. I think the Magic hit an uncharacteristically large number of shots. I think that they hit a high portion of their mid-range shots, most of which were contested. Fultz was spectacular, but I think that's not going to be sustainable. One of the things that I love about the Magic and looking at like scouting of how teams prepare for the other team's best set, this is a typical after timeout that the Bucks run. Especially, for whoever's getting a handoff downhill. It's an Iverson cut for the inbounder over the top of 2 players. Usually Giannis is handling at the elbow. The ball gets passed to the elbow, and then they look for this quick handoff action or like pistol action to go right back to the point guard to get downhill. Fultz does a good job jamming it, and then sagging off here by Isaac is awesome, recognizing that the pass is going to be made and just stealing it from Giannis. Great job of scouting, and here are 2 examples of the Bucks running that after timeout in the regular season. So knowing that in this formation, when Giannis has the ball, he's looking to either hand off or look for this stagger screen coming off. Great prep by the Magic, and I look forward to watching the adjustments for Game 2. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please feel free to like and subscribe. I look forward to doing more.